Today we're going to talk about this service tip for electric LG ranges when there are burner issues. So the top two issues are when you turn one knob on, multiple burners come on, or when you turn a burner on, it comes on and stays on all the time and does not cycle on and off like it should. So as many of you know, there have been several service bulletins released, but this service tip has been put together to show you all the model numbers on one page that are affected.
Now we have a late addition to this video. We have a kit for these switches. If you have the problem with a burner, two burners coming on, staying on, there's a kit now that has all of the switches and harness and board that you may need. Just make sure that you research for your application. But when you receive the kit, make sure that you replace each and every switch and everything that the service bulletin requires you to, and you should be good. Thank you. If you need to know how to put these switches on, continue to watch this video.
And you need to look whenever you're ordering parts and order all the parts that you need for your specific model. Some models just require switches, while others require switches, harnesses, and PCBs. So make sure that you're ordering all the parts that you need. And also, when you do this repair, do not just replace the one single switch that is bad. You need to replace all the switches. So however many switches your range has, make sure you replace them all while making this repair. Now we're going to show you how to go in and access the switches and replace them. Some ranges may require the cooktop to be removed to access the switches. Others, if you actually have screws in the side of your switch panel, you can remove those and pop that panel down without taking the cooktop off. Refer to your service manual for your particular model and it'll give you the direction to go. But in our case here, we have one screw at the front on each side. We're going to remove those two screws and then we'll get our cooktop out of the way. With your two screws removed, you're going to pull the cooktop toward you, and then you can lift it up. This will give you access to your wiring harnesses, and we'll get this unplugged and set the cooktop out of our way. So now we'll unplug our wiring harnesses to our cooktop. We can set our cooktop over to the side, and we'll be back to putting that on later. You now have access to all of your rotary switches. So now it's as simple as taking the wiring harnesses off of the back of each switch and moving them over to your new switch. So either take a picture of how it's wired up right now, or if you have your new switch with you, just simply move the wires straight over one at a time. So now that we have our wiring harnesses disconnected from our rotary switch, you'll take the knob off at the front. This exposes the two screws that are holding the switch into place, and we'll remove these two screws. With the two screws removed, you can now take your switch out. You'll go ahead and replace it with your new one. So you would go ahead and you would install your new switch back into place. And we're going to put our two screws back in, and then we'll hook our wiring harnesses back up. So now we have our new switch mounted into place. We'll come back around, we'll start plugging our wiring harnesses back in where they were connected before. Now that all our wiring harnesses are plugged back in, we would move down to the next switch and so on. Very important reminder, make sure that you read the service bulletin for your model fully. If you need just switches, make sure you replace all the switches, not just the one that's defective. And remember that some models will need switches, the wiring harness, and the PCB to be replaced at the same time. So make sure you get all the parts needed for your specific model. Some models may require the wiring harness for the cooktop switches to be replaced along with the switches. In this case, you may find that some of the wiring colors with the new part could be a little different from what was on there originally. So make sure that you have your service bulletin available, because on page 3 there are QR codes. This will be the original wiring diagram, and this will be the updated wiring diagram after the changes have taken place. So now we'll show you how to install this wiring harness. So we've now got our new wiring harness just kind of laid loosely into place. And I want to show you what the differences are that you might run into that's causing some confusion. So the main thing, if you can get in close here, the original blue connector that plugs into each switch, the original had this small white wire right here. This was for your burner on indicator light. That just turns that light on the front whenever a knob is turned on. On the new wiring harness, the blue connectors all the way down, that white wire has been removed because they're going to activate that light a different way now. But other than that, you'll pull all these wires straight off the switch and you'll plug in just color for color and wire for wire. It's all the same minus that one white wire. The other difference is the actual wires that power the LED for the burner on signal. So as you can see here, the original wires are black and white. The new ones are yellow and red. So this is where you'll need to use those QR codes in the service bulletin to look at your wiring diagrams to know which wire to put where, and I'll show you how to do that now. So I have downloaded the original wiring diagram because I need to identify the wire colors as it sits originally. So we'll zoom in on our burner on indicator light. You can see that T1 is the black wire and T2 is the white wire. So now we'll pull up the new diagram to see what colors go where. I have now downloaded the new wiring diagram, and as you can see, T1, which was black before on the old diagram, is now yellow, and T2 is red. So when we come back down here to our burner on indicator, we will be putting the yellow wire where the black wire was before, and we'll be putting the red wire where the white wire was before. So again, the main differences are going to be these wire colors to your burner on indicator and the removal of the small white wire from this harness with the blue connector. So hopefully that clears up any confusion on installing this wiring harness and helps you guys have a successful repair. Now that we've got our switches installed and other parts if necessary, we'll go ahead and we'll plug our cooktop back in. Just connect any harnesses that you might have undone earlier. Then you're going to take your cooktop. We're going to set it back down into place. It's going to go down and back, and if you heard that, it snapped back into place. We're going to put our 2 screws at the front of the panel back into place. And we have now successfully replaced the rotary switch on an LG electric oven range.